We're so fixated on the glow up. We want the glow up that shows everybody who doubted us that we are capable of doing the thing that they never thought we could do. But what about the most important glow up of your life? And that's your soul's glow up. What about being a person who embodies everything that you say you are? Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Words with me, Najwa Zebian. I've always been a firm believer in the power of words to heal what they didn't break and to break what they had no right in breaking. Today's episode is something I came up with on the spot, and watch this be the best episode that we've ever recorded. The topic is, you don't need a new life, you need a new you. Why did I come up with this? Why did it come to me? A lot of the times when we're struggling, we start glamorizing what a life outside of the life we're living will look like. We start daydreaming about what it would be like to be in a different job or in a different relationship or just in a completely different body. We think of these very big changes that need to happen to change the way we feel internally. And let me tell you something, everything that you're running away from ends up chasing you. We said this in a previous episode. All of the things that you run away from, thinking you're gonna be free, thinking you're gonna feel so much better, they end up coming back, knocking on your door, demanding that you listen to them. They end up coming back to tell you, I know you look different. I know you live in a different place. I know you're in a different relationship. I know that you present yourself in a different way to the world around you and to the people who come into your life, but you're still the same you on the inside. You're still that little scared person who just doesn't want to be hurt. But you're putting on a show that buries in the past all of the things that you should have dealt with that you didn't deal with. You think that if you change what your life looks like to other people, that you're going to feel better on the inside. But it's actually the other way around. When you feel better on the inside, when you work on the things that need your attention, when you work on your fears, your triggers, your character flaws, the things that would make you a better person, when you reflect on who you are when nobody's looking, that's what's going to make for a better life on the outside. When I wrote Welcome Home, my goal was to walk around in this world and feel like no matter where I am home, because I know who I am. I have myself to turn to. I don't need the external validation of people looking at me and saying, look at what her life looks like, to feel good about myself. I don't need every single one of my books to succeed in such a way for me to say, I'm a good writer. I don't need, with everywhere that I go, to put on this image like I'm doing so well and my life is so amazing. And I don't need that to feel good on the inside. When I feel like I am whole and enough within myself, not only does the external world reflect that, but the external world ends up changing based on what my wholeness and enoughness accepts and tolerates and allows. You think that changing the life around you will change the life within you, but it's the complete opposite. Sometimes changing the life around you for a short period of time will change the way you feel internally. Like if you buy that thing that you've really been wanting, and if you look that way that you've really been wanting to look, and if you get that job that you've been really wanting, and if you get that one person who you've been trying really hard to get their attention to actually give you their attention, you get that temporary relief, like, I got what I wanted. And I feel the way I've been wanting to feel. But it's temporary. Why? Because it didn't start from the inside out. It started from the outside in. Words from me to you. This is from my first book, Mind Platter, my first love. And it's on page 23. I love this one. It's called Don't Be Shallow. What is the point of a diamond dangling on a heartless chest, or on a deaf ear, or on an ungenerous hand? What is the point of loving people for the way that your eyes see them, not for who they really are on the inside? Don't be the one who gets fooled by an egg dipped in gold. At the first obstacle, its beautiful covering shatters, and all that is left is nothing that will please your eyes. Use your eyes to see into people's hearts, not the way that they make their hearts appear. I love this one so much because when I wrote it, it was coming from a place of reminding myself that that title that somebody has doesn't mean anything if their actions don't reflect what that title should hold. Integrity, character, doing the right thing when no one's looking, not being someone who's willing to take advantage of their power and their status to get somebody who has less power and less status and less of an influence to do something for them or to take advantage of them. I wrote it at a time when I wanted to remind myself that what really makes people who they are is who they are on the inside. You can buy the most expensive clothes and you can drive the most expensive car and you can take pictures in private jets and the most luxurious hotels, and you can change your physical appearance by paying tens of thousands of dollars to have an appearance that everybody would want, whatever that means. But if you haven't worked on your insides, what does that mean about you? What does it mean to look like your life is a certain way if internally you haven't changed anything about yourself? We're so fixated on the glow up that will show the world that we actually moved on from the thing that they never thought we could move on from. We want the glow up that shows everybody who doubted us that we are capable of doing the thing that they never thought we could do. We go for the glow up that shows others that we are desirable, that we have everything that everybody else wants. But what about the most important glow up of your life? And that's your soul's glow up, your character's glow up, your integrity's glow up. What about being a person who embodies everything that you say you are? What about becoming a person who doesn't tolerate disrespect? What about becoming a person who has strong and clear boundaries that do not need to be repeated more than once? What about becoming a person who, when you say something, it is done? When you say something, you mean it. What about becoming a person who believes people based on what they do, not based on what they say? What about becoming a person who values the people who value you? Not a person who tries so hard to convince everybody that you are worth their love, that you are worth their attention, that you are worth their presence? What about becoming a person who looks at people who make you feel like you are less than and says, I will not be entering that home. I will not be taking part in that environment? What about becoming the person who, when you walk into a space and you know that you are being offered on a silver platter to be degraded, dissected, humiliated, humbled, you say, not my place, not my people? What about becoming a person who, when you sense that someone is only thinking of what they can gain from you, you say, I know that I have what you would like me to offer you, but there are people out there in the world who don't feel entitled to what I have to give. They value and appreciate what I have to give. And instead of giving it to you, entitled you, I'm going to give it to the people who actually appreciate it, who actually need it, and who actually feel the amount of effort it takes for me to be someone who's willing to offer it. What about becoming a person who focuses on being so honest that when you're in the presence of dishonesty, your honesty threatens the people who are sitting around you, and instead of you taking that discomfort that they show you as a result of how your honesty makes them feel, instead of taking that as a sign to say, I don't need to be so honest all the time. Maybe I could just stay quiet and leave that honesty buried deep within and just say what they want to hear. You don't take it as a sign for that. You just say, my honesty has no safe place to rest here, so I will take it elsewhere. What about no longer surrounding yourself with people and with environments that look at you and think, who do you think you are? You're not as strong as you appear. I'm going to break you to show that. How about no longer defining how strong you are by how much you can overcome? Maybe strength isn't overcoming more and more difficult struggles. Like maybe stop taking on challenges that aren't yours just to prove that you're strong. Maybe strength means choosing to not step into the place that is prepared to fight you for no other reason than proving to you that you're not strong enough for the fight. Don't take the bait. Don't say, I'm going to prove to you how strong I am. Because you know what happens? When somebody pulls you into an argument that is just an argument about your reality versus what they want you to believe your reality is, and you think to yourself, I'm going to win this. I'm going to show them all the facts and I'm going to win this. But their purpose isn't to get to the truth. Their purpose is to waste your time and to create enough chaos in your life so that you're not able to, by the end of all this energy that you've expended, to focus on yourself. You're focused on them. They already won the moment you took the bait. What about becoming a person who knows discernment? You know when someone's pulling you in to something only so they can create chaos in your life, only so they can pull you away from yourself and your dreams and your purpose and your life and your ambition. so that you could be so focused on them? What about the glow up of becoming a person who looks at all the places that destroyed you, and instead of continuing to visit all those places to say, I have a piece left in here and I need it. If you don't give me that apology, or if you don't acknowledge what you did to me, if you don't say sorry, if you don't hurt in some way that shows me that you got what you deserve, then I can't move on. What about the glow up of no longer visiting those places and saying, nothing that is part of the core of who I am will ever be scattered in any place. I already have what I need. I don't need the apology. I don't need the validation. I don't need all the things I've spent, energy, money, time, patience. I don't need all of that stuff back. Because those things that I've created aren't what make me who I am. I am the source of all of those things, and I'm able to create them and give them. It's not a finite source. I am an infinite source of all the things I have to offer. I will not go back for the crumbs of the things that are left that I've given to others, and they've taken them in with this full appetite, and they've left the crumbs on the ground for me, and I'm not going to go pick them up saying, that's mine. I know I created it. I don't need evidence that someone else destroyed it, that someone else took advantage of it, that someone else took advantage of me, that someone else disrespected me, that someone else treated me the way they shouldn't have treated me. I don't need that evidence. It stays where it is. Let them keep it. I have way more within to create. And instead of using my time and energy to go back to all the places where I was destroyed, I will create within myself a stronger guild, a stronger castle around everything that makes me who I am. You will never have access to me the way you did before. You will never have the presence that I gave you so easily. What I have to offer is priceless. You can't afford what I have to offer because you know what it takes to afford what I have to offer. It takes integrity. It takes being a person of character. It takes being a person of your word. It takes being someone who appreciates beauty, deep beauty in what's around you. It doesn't take a shallow person. It doesn't take a person who's only in it for themselves. What I have to offer is way too expensive for people who look for dupes just so they could appear like they have what I have. Stop focusing on changing everything around you. Stop focusing on changing the appearance of things. I'm wearing makeup right now, but even when I'm not wearing any of it, I still feel like myself. I still feel like I deserve all the things I deserve. I'm wearing expensive clothes right now, but I would still feel the same if I paid $5 for what I'm wearing, because I understand this is not what makes me who I am. What I show you from my life isn't what makes me who I am. The place I live in, the people that I surround myself with, that you see publicly, that's not what makes me who I am. I am who makes me who I am. And I need you to say that to yourself. When you find yourself daydreaming about changing your life by changing the way your life appears, even in your own eyes and to other people around you, I need you to come back to yourself and bring yourself back down to earth and remind yourself of what's important. It's what's inside of you. When you build a strong enough character that says, I know who I am, I know what I accept, I know what I tolerate, I know what's for me and what's not for me, I know my value, plus tax. And I will not discount myself just because someone can't afford me. I will not break myself into pieces just because someone else can't handle me whole. I will not cover myself with something that changes what I appear to be to others. I will not cover myself with nonchalantness to cover the fact that I care, just so that someone else can say, she's hard to get. I want her. I know who I am, and I know I don't need to play games. I know what my goals for myself are. I know how much of my own time and energy I deserve for myself. When you say those things, the world around you will settle into that order. When you're constantly living in the energy of, I need to prove to you that I deserve that you see me a certain way, so I'm going to change the way I appear so that you could see me that way, so that you could welcome me into your life and blah, blah, blah. The world will look for all the energy that it can suck from you. But when you live in the energy of, I know who I am, and I know that I never need to convince anybody of my worth or my value, that I never need to change who I am for somebody else to accept me or see me as worthy, then the world will bring to you people who already see your value. People who've been through enough things and enough experiences in your life to know a treasure when they see it. And they recognize it instantly in you. And the world will also remove from your life every person who requires that you walk around as an energy river that's spilling on everything and everyone, saying, take from me as long as you treat me in return like I'm welcome in your life. The world will remove those people from your life because you've taken your energy back. And you've poured it into yourself. When you walk around as a completely changed person from the one you used to be, not in the way that says, I reject the vulnerable, sensitive, empathetic, compassionate person that I was. Not in that way. In a way that says, I reject surrounding myself with people who see my sensitivity and my empathy and my compassion and my giving and my willingness to love and my care as reasons to see me as not enough. I embrace the things that make me me. That's what changing your life means. That's what changing your definition of who you are means. It means removing the noise and removing the chaos that's been telling you, you're too much, you're too intense, you're too sensitive, you care too much. Just go with the flow and say, whose flow am I going with? I'll go with my own flow. But just because you want me to sit on a boat not knowing where it's going, because you're the one steering it and you don't want to answer any questions that I have, it doesn't make me an intense person. It doesn't make me too needy. It just means I want clarity, and I deserve clarity. When you walk around with that, the whole world around you will change. Your life will change externally. But when you go the other direction, where you change your external life to change your inner life, It's kind of like that example I gave you. It's like an egg that you dipped in gold, thinking if just because you dip it in gold, that gives off the appearance of it being so expensive. And what happens when it falls at the first obstacle? Your core is already gold. Your only job is to stop discounting its price, to stop putting it in dirty places, to stop hiding it from sight just because you're afraid that if you show the core of who you are, that you're going to intimidate people and that you're going to make them feel like they're less of themselves. That's on them. Your job is to keep your insides polished, to keep that glow, to not feel like you're too much for just being that gold that you are. It's time for Words That Found Me. Carl Jung says, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." You need to stop dreaming about what your life would look like if you were to just alter the way it appears to other people, and start awakening yourself to the parts of you that need you, and start awakening yourself to the difficult things that your insides are telling you to do. Your unspoken words are suffocating you. Your unspoken feelings are making you feel like you don't deserve to be heard and seen as you are. Your unspoken thoughts are burying you, you know? There's so many things in your life that are within your reach. If you were to just unleash what you've kept captive inside of you, thinking if I unleash these things and if I say these things, if I bring them to the surface, it's going to be too dangerous for me. And you're right, it will be too dangerous for you. Exposing ourselves is so scary, and it risks having people in our life that we never thought we could live without walking away. And it risks that we become what we feared most. I used to be so afraid of being seen as someone who makes people's lives inconvenient. You know, when you hear about certain people who have a set of expectations and, they don't sign a contract without having every single thing that they want, and they're just really hard to work with. I used to be so scared of being that person, but I realized with time that we describe the people who have basic expectations that make them comfortable, that would make their lives easier, as difficult only because we don't want to make their lives easier in some way. Like, we don't think they're entitled to that. We don't think that they deserve that. I used to think that my feelings were inconvenient for people who didn't want to deal with feelings, but you can't really have friendships and relationships and even relationships with family members without doing feelings. So I used to feel like my feelings were inconvenient, my sensitivity was inconvenient, my whatever was inconvenient, and the truth was I was never inconvenient. I was always around people who did not want to face the truth as it is. I wasn't inconvenient. I was surrounding myself with people who didn't want to self-reflect, didn't want to become self-aware. Saying to someone, "You hurt me," doesn't make me an inconvenience. It makes me someone who's speaking the truth of what happened to me by you. So how is it an inconvenience that I'm bringing it up? So I'm going to tell you right now, here's a change you can make from the inside out. Before I get to that part, I think it's really, really important. And I'm not just saying this because I wrote this book. I'm saying it because I know what it took for me to write this book. The Only Constant is all about how you can change your life from the inside out. All about how you can adapt your insides to remind yourself that whatever happens outside of you, whatever changes outside of you, you can handle it because you know who you are. Please read The Only Constant. Listen to it on Audible or wherever you listen to audiobooks. I read it in my own voice. It just came to me as I didn't plan to tell you about this. I always have all of my books in front of me in case I want to read something from them, but read it. Download it even on Kindle. I think it's heavily discounted right now on Amazon. You can get it for more than 50% off. For you to change your life from the inside out, you have to be honest with yourself about what not only you want to change, but what you need to change. Okay? There's something inside of you that screams every night, get rid of that person from your life. Stop investing your time with that group of people. Stop wasting X amount of hours per day scrolling through social media. Start going to a therapist that actually holds a mirror up to you and tries to help you. Stop spending time looking for ways to appear like your life is better and start actually making your life better on the inside. Those are the changes you absolutely need to make, and you know what they are. And a big part of making the changes that need to be made is in 2 words. Listen to yourself. Trust yourself. It's within you. Here's one simple way that you can change your life from the inside out. Like, you can do it right now, as in decide that this is what you're going to work on. Okay? When a feeling comes up, instead of asking yourself, how will they react to me bringing this up? Ask yourself, how can I best give a voice to this feeling? You hear the difference? How are they going to react to me bringing this up? Versus, how can I best give a voice to this feeling? One is focused on your outer world and their reaction, and one is focused on actually honoring the voice that you have within. I know this episode helped you find healing, so I'm not going to say I hope it did. I hope that you take the time to let people know about this work. I hope you take the time to really have deep conversations with the people in your life about topics like this. Spend time dissecting things and talking about how certain things moved you and changed you and how certain thoughts and feelings came up as a result of listening to this. Change the proportion of the time that you spend worried about your external world versus what's going on internally, from it being so focused on the outside world to bit by bit being more focused on the inside world. And there will be people who will tell you, you're so self-absorbed and you only think about yourself, and there are bigger things in life than feelings. And yes, there are, but that doesn't mean that feelings aren't important. Remember that. I hope this episode helped you find healing beyond words. It's just what I say at the end of every episode, and I'm going to stick to it. And I hope that these words have, the visual I'm getting is, there was a cage inside of you that you had locked that had everything that you needed to change in your life and everything that you were so scared to unleash: your strength, your character, your power, your dreams, all the things that make you feel alive. And you just open that cage and let it all out. I hope this episode did that for you. And until next time, have a lovely day.